What is even immunization? Why is it important? We'll be talking about all of these and more. My guest this morning is Mrs. Ume Chinyere, who is the Deputy Director, Health Education at the FCT Primary Healthcare Board. She's joining us in the conversation this morning, and we would be looking at everything that has to do with that pertains to immunization and why it's important. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep the numbers close. You're going to need them when we open up the phone lines 09073530044 and 09087668888. You may want to send us SMS and WhatsApp messages on 09097054450. Good morning, Mrs. Ume. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Glad you're here today. Immunization, we talk about this thing all the time, and now we've come to the point where we're actually celebrating a whole week on immunization, the African vaccination or immunization or vaccination week. This year's theme, the big catch-up, an opportunity to raise awareness on the urgent and critical need to find and vaccinate children who missed vaccines to help and protect them from illnesses and disability as well as death. Tell us about this. Why is it important? First of all, why is it so important to vaccinate children? We talk about preventable diseases and all that, but why is it important for people to avail their children for vaccination?
Oh, thank you very much. As it implied, the African Vaccination Week or World Immunization Week is a global push by World Health Organization, and the aim is to intensify efforts to reach every child who missed vaccination, as well as also to restore and strengthen routine immunization programs. That is the aim of this week, because a lot of children might have missed by one way or the other. So this is the week set aside to reach out to these children wherever they are. And also it is also aimed to educate the general public about why vaccines are necessary for the health of millions of people, not only children, but adults, because there are some vaccines that benefit adults too.
Yes. We'll get to the adult part, but then I need to understand something. Is it that children who have missed the vaccination at any point can catch up at this time? Like they can also go back now to get those vaccines? Because I understand that there are specific periods where children should take these vaccines. Is it every child that has missed the vaccine that can catch up at this time?
That for this year's team, that is even the team for this year, the big catch up. Do you understand? Because we know that during COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of children were missed during that time. So there was a gap in immunization. So that is what we want to try to do now, because even according to World Health, we lost globally more than 33 million children that need to be vaccinated to make sure that the aim of immunization will be achieved. So this is now time for us to make sure that those children that we missed out that time, we are vaccinated.
Okay, so what's the age bracket for children who need to be vaccinated? I understand there's an age bracket for children to be vaccinated. Is there?
Yes, for routine immunization now, the age bracket is from 0 to 2 years.
Okay.
0 to 2 years.
So if a child is between 0 to 2 years
and you have missed any immunization, you can still start and complete.
You can start and complete?
Yes, you can start. There are different vaccines. If you start at 0 age, there are intervals. When you take that first one, after 6 weeks, you come back to another one. Then interval of 4 weeks before you get to 6 months, 9 months, 15 months.
Now, tell us about these vaccines and how important they are. Which is the first one? Which of these vaccines is the first one, and which one, and when is it supposed to be taken?
Okay. If you give birth to a child now, even as we are talking, that child is eligible to take what we call BCG, hepatitis B, and oral polio vaccine. These ones are given immediately after birth. But if a child misses this immunization within a period of 2 weeks, the child may not be eligible to take hepatitis B vaccination but you can still take BCG, because when the child is supposed to come for the 6 weeks vaccination, this hepatitis B is also included in pentavalent vaccine that is the child is going to take. So if it is below 2 weeks, you cannot give the child again. Okay. Because if you give the child, maybe the child is about 3 or 4 weeks, when he's due for 6 weeks vaccination, you know, it's not a period of 4 weeks again that the child can come. So that is why it is necessary we advocate that once a child is born, please make sure that within 2 weeks you take the child to any primary health care center or any government health facility around you to take this vaccination free.
Free of charge.
You are not paying anything in any government. Remember, I say government health facilities. Yes.
Okay. So
then after
that
6 weeks.
Now, first of all, what is the importance of the BCG? Why is it important to give them these vaccines? The BCG, the what do you call it again? The hepatitis B,
yes.
and on the likes.
You know, all these vaccines that we are giving is to prevent. That's what we call vaccine preventable diseases. There are a lot of diseases, diphtheria, whooping cough, all those sicknesses, you know, encompasses all the diseases that attack children when they are young. So these vaccines generally protects the children, and at every point in time there is a vaccine the child is eligible to collect to make sure that all these diseases generally are prevented.
Okay, so what's the next one after the one for the the immediate one?
Yes, after at birth you take this, then at 6 weeks you're eligible to take the one we call pentavalent. That is 1 vaccine, pentavalent vaccine. You will take also oral polio vaccine at that time. Then you also take PCV, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. That one you take it at 6 weeks, at 10 weeks, and at 14 weeks.
Okay.
When you take this one at this, then the next one, vitamin A, because we advocate that you don't give a child anything until the child is 6 months. So when the child is 6 months, you bring the child to the health facility for vitamin A. Then at 9 months, the child is eligible to take measles and yellow fever. Then another thing is this. I forgot, Rota vaccine is now in our routine immunization.
What is Rota about? What is Rota?
Rota for rotavirus vaccine.
Okay.
Because you know most places in private hospitals they give it and collect huge sum amount of money.
Okay.
But now it has now been introduced into Nigerian routine immunization schedule. So they are now going to take the vaccine, the same thing at this interval again. Yes.
For free again.
Free, is free.
At the primary.
Any vaccine that is Nigerian immunization schedule is free.
At the government
when
hospitals.
You go to government, I keep on saying it's government facility, because it's not when you go to private and they collect money, you say these people say vaccine is free and they're collecting money. But you have to go to private government health facility and take this vaccine free.
Now, I've heard people say one of the reasons they don't like to get vaccines from government hospitals is because they don't trust the vaccines at the government hospitals, who is to say that these vaccines are not expired, and then they just give it to people.
But unfortunately, this private hospital collect the vaccine from our office. Because there is a chain in getting vaccine, even from the national to state to the local government to the health facility. So there is a chain. Do you understand? So like now, if the state, like we're in FCT, we go to the national store and collect the vaccine, looking at our target population and what we need and the vaccines that are there. We collect the vaccine. Then the area councils will come to the state and take this vaccine. So most times states take to the area council. You know, we don't need to wait for them because there's still a logistic problem. So the states take the vaccines to them. Then the health facilities, the clinic, will now go to the area council and collect this vaccine. So all these private health facilities that give vaccine, most of them, in short, if you are collecting our vaccine, we expect report from you. So whatever you charge them is not our concern, because it is you as the parent that decide to go to the private hospital to collect your vaccine. They come to our office and collect those vaccines. That we give. Yes.
Okay, so it's actually safer to get to government hospitals to take these vaccines.
Yes.
Let's go to talk about before we get to adult vaccination, or maybe let's touch on that quickly. Adult vaccination. What vaccines are adults eligible to?
Like for now, you know, COVID has not gone, so we are still giving COVID vaccine at all government hospitals. adult, everybody. I don't know whether you have taken your COVID.
Yes, I have.
First,
I
second,
took
third, and booster dose.
booster. I didn't take booster, but I know I took the first booster.
But you know,
the 3
these vaccines,
doses.
the more you take, the more you increase your immunity. Yes, adult take that COVID vaccine. Then for tetanus toxoid, we call it tetanus diphtheria now. We give to women of childbearing age. That's from 15 to 49 months. But most people don't make themselves available to take those vaccines. So we normally give it when pregnant mothers come for antenatal. That is when they have opportunity of taking this vaccine.
Okay. I understand hepatitis. Somebody made me take hepatitis vaccine by force, and that's also open for adults to take, right?
Yeah, but for the one we are giving, that I got doctor. There was a time we did something like campaign. We give to adults, but the hepatitis B vaccine we have now are for children.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that way, if you want adults own, you can make inquiry and get that one. But for now, the one that is routinely given is for children.
Yes. And you can walk into any government hospital and get these vaccines.
Yes.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the Safe Mother Day was commemorated yesterday, even in Abuja here as well. Let's talk about that. The maternity and child death rates in the country. I was reading, I saw about 54% of childbirths in children are lost in this country yearly, and that for me is something that should be prevented. That should be stopped at all means. Now, what does that day mean? The Safe Mother Day. What is it, and what does it mean? What does it represent? Why do we commemorate such a day?
As the name implies, Safe Motherhood Day. It's a day just like every other day we commemorate for safety of pregnancy and childbirth, because pregnancy is a thing of joy, so it needs to end in joy. So it is a day we commemorate and we enlighten the public, the general public, that is good for a mother. Once you notice that you're pregnant, go to the health facility and start. There is this thing that you're supposed at least have 8 visits, 8 contacts in the facility before you deliver your child. And in the process of going to the hospital for this 8 visit, for this your antenatal care visit, along the line, if there is any problem, it will be detected on time and know how to manage. But you find out that some people don't go to the antenatal when they are pregnant, and maybe 7-8 months, some people will start having bleeding, or some people may be having some danger signs in pregnancy. They don't know. They will think that it is normal. Especially in our rural communities, the grandmother will say, "Don't worry, it was alive even when I gave birth to your husband." But there are danger signs and they don't know. And that is why a lot of women die during pregnancy or child delivery. They may attach it to witchcraft or this thing. So the essence is for them to go to the facility, attend your antenatal care, complete the antenatal care.
What's the complete
antenatal
care?
Complete antenatal care, you must attend at least 8 visits. That is what we encourage. Immediately you notice that you're pregnant, you missed your period, report to the health facility immediately so that you start your antenatal. They will be giving you schedule of how you visit every month, and when you get up to like 8 months, they will be booking you for 2 weeks until you get to 9 months. By God's grace, you deliver. And also the essence of the week is also to encourage women to have their delivery by skilled birth attendants. Do you understand? There are people that have been trained on taking delivery, like the midwives, the nurses that are in the health facilities. And that is why even FCT, we are trying to make sure that every health facility have a midwife, to make sure that they have this skilled birth delivery. By skilled birth delivery, I say taking delivery by somebody that have been qualified and licensed to take delivery. In the process of that, if there are complications along the line, she will dictate. If it is beyond their management, they can refer to the next line of secondary facility. If it is beyond them at the primary health care, then secondary facility, if it's beyond them, they can refer to the tertiary. That is why you have that chains of health, what do you call them now, health facilities from primary, secondary and tertiary.
This is interesting. Let's talk about something that I've been interested in for a while. Speaking of reducing child mortality, breastfeeding. How important is this? Someone said, I was reading and I saw that a child is expected to, be breastfed for at least 2 years. And we were having that conversation somewhere, and somebody said, 2 years, what's going to happen to the father? And you know, but how important is it for children to be, to be allowed to, or to be breastfed that long? There's also a conversation about malnutrition. We need to touch on that as well, since we're talking about all of this. How important is it for a child to be breastfed at least within the first hour of delivery? Tell us about that.
Okay. You know, breastfeeding, we call that one early initiation. That the baby will be attached to breast within at least 1 hour of birth. Once that baby come out, you clean up the child, attach the baby to the mother's breast so that the baby will start suckling. And you know, when the breast milk starts coming out, the first one that come out, we call it the colostrum. It is yellowish in color. That is the first immunization the child takes as a child. It's nature. That is the immunization God has given to the child through the mother. So it is very, very, that is why we say attach the child to the breast immediately, so that it doesn't stay, it doesn't last for a very long time, so that the baby can get that immunization. Because if you waste time like 2, 3, 4 hours, the cholesterol might have gone out and the baby will not take it. So it's very, very important that the child takes it. And we encourage, it has been, if you ask people that have practiced exclusive breastfeeding, it's by exclusive breastfeeding, we mean that the child will not take anything apart from breast milk for the first 6 months of life.
That's another concern, because people say, oh, how can the child not drink water? How can the child not eat anything for 6 months? You're just sucking just breast milk for 6 whole months, no water. The child might get thirsty and you want to give them water.
Do you know that it's God that created woman? And gave the woman breast to feed the baby with. And you know the way that breast is, when the baby is suckling, the first part of the milk that the baby will suck is water. Breast is made, 70% of breast milk is water. So, and if you observe, maybe I don't know if your wife or if you observe, you see that even the baby urinates more. You ask yourself, where is that urine coming from? The breast milk contains 70% of water. Then after the baby might have suckled that one, then you will now come to the main one that will help to sustain the child for a very long time. So that is why we encourage the mother. You don't just give baby breast milk, give the breast, after 2-3 seconds you turn to the other breast. No, allow the child to suckle and empty that part of the breast. You as a mother will feel light and know that that breast has been, the baby has finished sucking everything, both the water and the main breast milk inside, everything, before you turn. And you see, when you breastfeed the baby like that, keep the baby for a very long time, the baby will relax and be sleeping because the baby has been well fed. But if you just give like 2-3 minutes and turn to the other one, the baby just drank water, and once the baby urinates, he will start crying again. That's why some people say, after the baby will continue to suck. No, because the baby did not suckle very well to get all that is needed.
Exclusive breastfeeding, 6 months straight, nothing else.
Nothing. And you as a mother will be happy. Even you as a father will be happy, because your pocket, nothing is going out. You don't buy breast milk, you don't cook it, you don't say that the gas got finished or there's no light to store it in the freezer. No, it is there. It is there.
Very
so it
interesting.
saves the child, it saves the mother, it saves the father. And the community as a whole. You don't run out, okay, has this baby, what they use in giving this baby, I don't know whether they wash it very well. Maybe after 2 days, the baby will come down with diarrhea or one sickness or the other. All those things are avoided.
Interesting. So it saves that part of saving money. I know a lot of fathers will be happy about it because I mean the cost of baby food and all those things these days is something else. So saving us a lot of money would be interesting. So if you're listening now, I would hope you want to take advantage of this and ensure that your baby and that you practice exclusive breastfeeding. Allow the baby suckle for at least 6 months without interfering.
So you're talking
and
about
2 years.
2 years. Yes. When we say first 6 months of life, then after these 6 weeks, you begin to introduce what we call complementary feeding. You begin to introduce other semi-solid food that the baby will start eating gradually to begin to eat. It doesn't stop the baby from taking his or her breast milk. Once you finish eating, please give the baby breast to suckle. You see, if you remember in those days, so even some children, like my mother will tell me that they will go and bring chair and sit, ask the mother, if the mother come back, sit down and so. And you think of children of those days and children what we are breeding now. You see, you go to the market, buy cow milk, buy all this one and be given to children. And when they grow up, they'll begin to grow like what you fed them with.
Some people will hold you by that. But it's quite interesting. 2 years, 2 whole years, allow the baby to suckle and don't interfere. Don't be a stumbling block to the growth and wellness of your child.
Don't worry,
they know the people are, they know themselves. People are talking to, they know
Just
themselves.
2 years, the baby will hands off.
Now let's also talk about child spacing. We're going to talk about that some more because that's also a part of the well-being for mother and child. We'll touch on that a little. Give us a little insight as to why it's important to space childbirth and delivery.
Yes, childbirth spacing is also another way of improving maternal and child health, because as a mother, when you give birth, like we say, it takes 2 years for your body to come back to normal. Just get an elastic or this rubber ring and stretch it for like 2 or 3 times. You see that when that rubber ring is coming back, it don't come back to its normal shape. The mother's womb is like that. So we advise that the childbirth spacing, not that you won't have children, like some people have it that they say they want. No, you plan your time. When do I want to have this child? You have the child when you want to have it. That is why family planning services is available in almost all the health facilities, in government health facilities I know, in FCT. When you go there, there are different methods. It's only when you go there, they will check you, make the options available for you. After explaining to you, it is you that will decide which one do I want to go with. You go with it. Once you are ready for your childbirth, you stop the family planning and have your pregnancy again. It doesn't stop it because it allows you to take care of the child. That you see some people, they are 3 months baby, they are pregnant already. How do you think that the mother will? Everybody, both father and mother, everybody is not happy, even the child. And you find it affects the child more because that attention will not be given to the child. That care will not be given to the child if the mother gets pregnant immediately after delivery. So that is why we advise all those things. When a woman comes for antenatal, there are the things we talk to the mother before you deliver. After delivery, what are those things you need to do to make sure that you maintain your health and the health of the baby? And when mother and child are healthy, the father is healthy automatically.
Also, is there any other financial or economic importance to this? Because I know that also maybe you may not pay too much school fees and the rest of those things.
Exactly. 2 of them are just one, 2 of them are writing jam the same time. It's a burden. But if you space them, at least they give like 2-3 years. At least this one is finishing SS1 and going to maybe JS3 and going to S1. This one is entering JS1. It gives you that gap to relax, so that that's what leads to hypertension to many families.
A lot of hypertension and men dying early in this life. So please be careful. Like, you're listening, this is all for you. This is not for me. It's all for you. Take advantage of it and plan your life, plan your family. Everything's about planning. Even the federal government plans, the budget plans about spending and everything for the well-being of Nigerians. So please take advantage of this. The conversation continues. Quite an interesting one. We're talking about the vaccination week, as well as the Safe Mother Day that was commemorated yesterday. Let's also we'll get you into the conversation. If you have questions or concerns, this is the right person to talk to. Ask your questions, anything that pertains to safe motherhood and vaccination and all those things. Ask those questions, put them forward. I'd love to have the women calling more today because today we have a female guest. You'll be always going to ask me. You don't always bring female guests, but we have a female guest today. So respond, ask your questions, and she will be responding to them. Stay with us. The conversation continues.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Young only 100 naira, you enter. Anybody can bid, if you win your bid.
You get what you want buy, but you don't get money? Microwave, TV, I mean you want pay nepa bill. Download Yangabid from any online store. With 100 naira, fund your wallet. Choose a plan for your gate pass. Start spinning and winning. The player with the highest number wins the bid. Anything when you want buy, you can bid it and win. Yangabid, Nigeria's online marketplace.
You can call us on 091 3000 2014. 091 3000 2014.
Just hold on, I come bearing good news. In the spirit of the Ramadan and Easter celebrations, Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja brings you a special offer. 50% off all our packages for jingles, live interviews, announcements, productions, and a lot more. Isn't that just amazing? So visit us at www.eaglesfm.com or send us a mail on info@eaglesfm.com to enjoy this promo. For more information, call us on 090-9544-111. That is 090-9544-111. Seize this opportunity to promote your business this festive season.
From Milky Way to Earth, everywhere there's internet, you can connect with Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Log on to our website www.eaglesfm.com. Follow and engage with us now on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja, Instagram at Eagles FM 102.3. Download our apps on your Android and iOS stores. 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Thank you for keeping it with us. This is Eagles Outlook on your radio experience you can count on. And this morning we're commemorating the World Immunization Week, or the African Vaccination Week as it is. And my guest is Mrs. Ume Chinyere, Deputy Director, Health Education, FCT, Primary Healthcare Board. She's joining us in the conversation this morning. It's quite an interesting one for those of you who have families, those of you who are planning to have a family. You know, this is all good knowledge that you need to have, even as you plan or your family life.
The Eagles FM Abuja Quiz Show for SS1 to SS3 is here. Enroll your school today with 2 students participating in maths, English, and general knowledge, and get massive promotion as long as your school remains in the competition, plus other prizes for the winning school. Registration is 20,000 naira per school and closes on the 12th of April 2023. Quiz starts on Saturday 15 April 2023 and will be transmitted live on YouTube and Facebook. For sponsorship and partnership, please call 081-330-98542. That is 081-330-98542. The Eagles FM Abuja Quiz Show, building future champions today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
All right. So, thank you for the program. It's very exciting and educative at the same time. So my question to the madam is, she mentioned that all these immunization for children are free at every government medical center. So, but there are some of them, like the ones they are collecting for year 1. I've forgotten the name right now, but there's a particular one they give them at year 1 for all these measles and whatever. I've forgotten the name. So they are actually charging for it in most of the medical centers that I.
Are you talking about government facilities?
Yes, government facilities.
Okay. I guess it's
so they are charging.
Did you have a personal experience where you charged at any point to get that vaccine?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so
they charged us like 35,000 at some places.
35,000?
Yes, 35,000. And you take 2 doses. So you first take one, 35,000, and then you come back later to take the other at a certain price again.
This happened in Abuja here?
Yeah, it happens in Abuja.
When was that?
Okay, am I permitted to mention names of the hospitals?
Go ahead. Let's know the hospital and
okay, even at Federal Medical Center, Jabi.
Jabi.
Yes.
FMC,
FMC.
Jabi.
FMC.
When did
yeah.
this happen?
Just last month.
Last month.
Last 2 months, yeah. From last 2 months like that. It's been happening like that. Also at the National Hospital, they are charging.
Are you sure what you're saying?
Okay, can I answer?
Very sure. This
Okay.
is a personal experience.
Okay, my guest would respond to that quickly. Thank you very much, Abi, for that one. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, so you just heard it.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Abe. I heard what you said. Like the National Hospital and the FMC, they are under federal government, not FCT administration. Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
I don't know if they are charging. The ones we know is that like all these Sokoro, Maitama, Gwarempa, Use, Nyanya, Kwali, general hospitals, they don't charge anything. They don't charge anything.
That's quite interesting.
Yes, they don't charge
we're
anything.
going to take this up and find out
But
for
if it's
ourselves
National
again.
Hospital, I wouldn't know, and they're not supposed to charge anything. But I wouldn't know. I can't speak for them.
Okay.
Because they are under national, federal
government.
Yes,
All right, let's
not
get another
under
caller.
FCT.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
Nacho.
Good morning.
Bushman,
good to have you.
Yes, I'm very happy that at least topic have changed now. That you have something, no more noise. It's very, very important we are discussing about the family today. Let me respond to this last caller now. I'm very surprised at that allegation you mentioned. Because like where we have never come across it. Say they are ever charged, but that word may be is very confident of what he's saying. So here Nacho, it's very, very nice that we must follow government mostly when in regard to our health, but most of us doesn't care. Even where we are here, most of the women, when once they come to hospital and register their as a pregnant woman, they don't come again. You understand? And all these things are available, free. So I'm very happy that you changed the topic this morning, not politics all the time. So keep it like that so that our temper will cool more.
Okay.
So there is something that is missing in your program. I've been wanted to ask you. This a spiritual morning devotion by Evangelist Gideon Akonde. Has been cancelled?
We're working to get that back on. Just we're keeping our fingers crossed to see that gets back on. You know, some of you have refused to sponsor it. That's why it's going off and on. So if you sponsor that program now, it will come back and be there for you. Thank you very much, Bushman.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. My regard to your guest.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So they should investigate that very allegation because I'm surprised.
Yes, that's going to be investigated. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bushman. Appreciate you. All right. So it appears that other Nigerians also know that the government hospitals are not supposed to charge for these vaccines. But also, let's quickly touch on, the FCT health insurance scheme. Is that something that Nigerians should take seriously, especially Abuja people, FCT people?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
To the best of my knowledge, I'm not from insurance, but I know that there was a time there was an announcement that people should go and enroll. Because just like voters card, if you don't have voters card, you are not eligible to vote on the election day. So the same thing with insurance. You have to go and enroll. There was the one, I can't really say whether they're collecting money for, but there was a time through Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, we have one facility in every ward of FCT. We have 62 wards in FCT. So one facility has been designated as Basic Healthcare Provision Fund facility. And people should go there and enroll. Once you enroll and you get the card, there are certain services for women and children, even the elderly, they will come and access free. minor treatment of children, malaria, even pregnancy to delivery is free. But you find out when that opportunity came, many people think that maybe it's just government thing, they didn't take it serious. But the few that took it serious and were able to enroll at a certain stage, because of the funding, they have the specific number of people that time that they took. Those ones, they're enjoying themselves. But I know that FCT Health Insurance, they've expanded the scope. They're enrolling people, but I won't know the modality because I can't say for sure whether there's anything they need to pay to access that insurance or not.
Okay.
I cannot say.
Let's talk about malaria. Malaria is a big killer disease in Africa. Nigeria, accounts for about 25% of malaria deaths, over 25% of malaria deaths across the world. And I understand there's a vaccine. We're going back to the vaccine conversation now for pregnant women to prevent malaria and all. Is there anything? What's the care for pregnant women against malaria when they come to, especially for antenatal care?
Yes, the one I'm sure of. That's why we say every mother should go for antenatal. If you're visiting another, there's one drug they're giving them, SP. They call it this sofameprin SP tablet, that every pregnant woman, once you come for antenatal, the nurse that attended to you give you that drug, you will take.
Okay.
Yes, and you collect it, you take it, just a way of preventing malaria. Then give them health education on other ways of preventing malaria. Ensure that you sleep under long-lasting insecticide-treated nets. Most times, if nets are available, they normally prioritize pregnant mothers. They give them when they come for antenatal. But in most cases, because of this, it may not be available. But at any time they're available, they announce to the mother, we have nets in the facility. When you come to the health facility, during your antenatal, you take. At times, if we have enough, and when you complete your immunization, they give you as bonus.
There's also this conversation about antenatal care being free and not being free at government hospitals. Where do we stand with that now?
Yes, for now, there are certain ones that are free. There was when we have free antenatal. Just like you are talking to the other person, sustainability and funding. There are some organizations that will come and fund some activity. After that one expires, it may not continue. But I know that there's nothing that they're charging for antenatal that will not allow you to go to receive antenatal services. Yes. Like now, even next month, we are planning for what we call Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week again. And that week is also a week of taking care of pregnant mothers, children under 5 years of age, looking at malnutrition, what do we do to get out of all those things. So you will also access the services free at that time.
You mentioned malnutrition. I was going to touch on that. Malnutrition, there's a federal government focus on, reducing the rate of malnourished children in this country. But then parents have a role to play. And we're talking about locally sourced, foods. Let's talk about that, because people need to understand that when we talk about balanced diets and all of that, it shouldn't bore a hole in your pocket. You shouldn't be looking to buy vitamins and all those things. Those are things that we can actually source locally. Tell us about that a little.
Yes, the federal government is trying everything possible to make sure that we reduce malnutrition in Nigeria, including FCT. Like now, like all this African vaccination week we are talking about, we're not just going to give only vaccine and go. Or this maternal, newborn and child health, we don't just give vaccine and go. There's nutrition, what we call nutritional assessment. We use what we call MUAC tape. Bring these children, we are concerned with children 0 to 5 years, under 5. But because if we're going to do nutritional assessment, we start from 6 months of age. We use that tape and check the child. It has 3 colors. It has green, yellow, and red. If your child is on green, the child is normal. If your child is on yellow, it's warning sign. They will advise you. Then if it is on red, it's danger. And anything red is danger. So they will now, there's what we call the ready-to-use therapeutic food. The government made it available. We have it. I think virtually in all the area council, we have it. So when the children that are identified that has this red, that means they are malnourished. They give them this thing free. And if it becomes severe acute malnutrition, they have a center, I think in Kwali General Hospital, and I don't know whether Wawala Teaching Hospital, whether they have it. I'm sure of Kwali General Hospital. They send them there. They are being treated, and it's free. You don't pay anything.
Free
so that, yes,
to get the treatment for
yes,
malnutrition.
severe malnutrition. Even the malnutrition, the RUTF, that ready to use therapeutic food, you get it free. That is why we advocate that people should be visiting the health facility in their community. Most people, the facility is in front of their house, but they don't go there and they don't know what is happening there. So when they go there, and if you are a mother, you come for antenatal. Maybe you come with your 2-year-old baby or your 3-year-old baby. When they are looking at you as a mother, they also look at the child. If there is any thing they find out in the child can be taken care of. So if on the process and they find out that the child is malnourished, the child will be taken care of. Then, like we're talking about locally available food, we have it enough in Nigeria. And thank God, FCT, there's nothing you put on ground that doesn't give you results. You find that most of them will farm vegetable, ugu, alefo, green. They will pack it and go to the market and sell without giving it to their children. We have our soya beans. We farm all these things. You can source it. I keep telling mothers, you don't need to go to abattoir to buy all the meat there before you give your child nutrition food. You have your mango now, the season of mango is coming out. You have pawpaw, all those things, they are available. With 200 naira, you can get your carrot, cucumber, and give to your children. Allow them. I keep that money you use in buying bobo, buying indomie. You can use it. Sorry, I'm not spoiling people's markets, but you can use it and get locally available food that you can cook and give your children, and they will be, you prevent a lot of malnutrition in children. Don't get crayfish and cook with the children. You have fowl that lays egg. Don't pack it and go to the market and say, cook it for these children to eat. Gone are the days when they say any child that eats egg is a longer throat child. No, they needed this thing for them to grow well. And when the child is eating very well and they're taking immunization, that is when you see a child is balanced. Some people will not say they've taken all the vaccine, but what is the child eating? You also put that into consideration.
Well, that's. I think this is a good place to end the conversation. They say, "He who has ears, let him hear." To whom much is given, much is expected. Much has been given to you now. You have the knowledge. You can't let it go to waste. The multiple indicator cluster survey has revealed that immunization coverage in Nigeria is below the global vaccine action plan goals. Now, the survey shows that only 36% of children aged 12 to 23 months received all recommended vaccines, while 18% did not receive at all. You don't want to be among this 18%. Take your children, get them vaccinated against vaccine preventable diseases. There are things that matter of fact, you don't have to pay to prevent your kids from having any disease, from falling sick. So do it. All you have to do is take them to these government facilities and they would get those vaccines. Do that for yourself and for your family. This is a good place to end this. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ume Chinyere, Deputy Director, Health Education, FCT, Primary Health Care Board. Do you have any other final words to say before we go?
Yes. Thank you very much for this opportunity you have given us. And also, just like I said, we want to enlighten the public that come 22nd of May to 26th of May is another opportunity open for maternal, newborn, and child health week, as the name implies. So we should also make ourselves available.
Now, if people want to make themselves available, what do they do?
No. That one, we don't go from house to house. You have to come to the health facility or any designated place. I think by then we'll have a town announcer. The jingles will go on radio, announcements will be made. They come to any government health facility nearest to them that says those services free.
All right.
The children will be dewormed. They will give them vitamin A. There will be immunization. Even adults, if you have not taken your COVID vaccine, it's another opportunity for you to assess that. There will be vitamin A supplementation. Vitamin A will give it twice in a year. There will be deworming. Some children will be eating and one will be collecting the food from them and they don't know. So the children will be dewormed. Adults also, pregnant mothers will be taken care of. Newborn and the rest of them.
And that's from when?
22nd of May to 26th of May.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us in the conversation this morning. Thank you all for listening. Those of you who have been a part of it, thank you for being a part of it. We'll not say again, thank you to Mrs. Ume Chinyere for coming, and to the silent partner who's giving moral support. Thank you so much for being a part of it as well. Thank you. We'll do this again next week.
The Eagles FM Abuja Quiz Show for SS1 to SS3 is here. Enroll your school today with 2 students participating in maths, English, and general knowledge and get massive promotion as long as your school